Grand rising, powerful beings. Today I'm going to be talking about creating a productive environment with a sense of zen. Throw a little zen on it, add a little plants to it, throw a little essential oil in there. So if you want to learn how to create an environment that's going to fuel productivity through the concept of Feng Shui and getting your chi on point, you want to listen to this episode, all right? So I'm going to be talking how to create a productive environment in a way where you minimize distractions, you enhance focus. That's going to get you more productive. So if you have trouble you be getting distracted all of the time, I'm just going to share with you the mindset and strategies are going to help you with that. So of course you don't want to go anywhere. You want to keep listening to this episode of Ed Talks Daily, baby. Let's go. So, what does it mean to create a productive environment that fuels your growth? What am I talking about, yo? So here's first thing you can see is, if you can't see it, I'll tell you, is that I'm outside. So you want to know what's the ultimate best way to create a productive environment is to go outside, right? So by being outside, your environment is you're going to clear up the Feng Shui. You're going to clear up the chi, right? What is that? Basically, when you feel congested, your mind is going to feel congested. Does that make sense? So if you feel congested, you feel like there's a lot of things around you, your mind is gonna be congested. Now, this is why I worked outside, because sometimes my room is too congested for me to even handle, right? So what I like to do is I like to be outdoors. Now, what other things is that gonna do for you? Well, you gotta understand, outside, the plants give off oxygen. They give off a certain energy and vibration. So while you're out there in nature, there's a better sense of clarity. Now, what they found out is that people who have plants in their office, their productivity level skyrockets up. So you might wonder, like, yo, does that mean I need to get some plants in my office? Exactly. Some of you might say, yo, I don't have the privilege of working from home. I don't have the privilege of working in the backyard. So how am I going to work with that? How is plants going to help me be more productive? You could get yourself some house plants. So I'm going to tell you how to hack your air, how to hack your light, and how to hack your smell, and how to hack the amount of stuff that you have. So you want to keep listening. So here's what I mean. The first thing we're saying is we want to add plants to your space, because plants add life to your life. Not only does it enhance the quality of your oxygen that you're breathing, but it also enhances the quality of your mind. It brings you a sense of peace and in tune with nature. Now, whether or not we can tell the specific scientific explanation of why a leaf can enhance your vitality, here's what we can say. We can say that plants are living things. And if plants are living things, that means that you're not just surrounding yourself with plants, you're surrounding yourself with living things. So that means every plant that you have, it's like having a team of people to fuel your energy up. So you got to look at these plants more than just leaves. These are actually supporting energies. Now, so you're saying, okay, get some house plants, I can do that, right? Now, some people want to know, like, how do I even grow my house plants? Do I need the dirt? Do I need what? Do you know that there are certain vines and plants that you can grow in a jar of water? You can literally have a jar of water, and you could sprout certain plants, house plants, in water. So this means that you don't need crazy pots with dirt and a whole bunch of stuff. All you need is a jug of water and certain different plant qualities that grow very well in it. So add plants to your space. That's going to help you be more productive, because you're going to have a clearer state of mind. All right. What's the next step? Next tip to enhance your space to increase your productivity. Here's the next thing. Diminish the amount of stuff that's around you. Now, while I'm doing this podcast, I need to have this computer here, this screen here, and I have a lot of stuff around me. Now, when I stop doing the podcast, I also need to clear my table around. Now, why? Because there are certain activities that when I feel like I'm overwhelmed with stuff around me, I can't do them. So I got to kind of like just clean my table from time to time. So I want you to take a look at your table and see how much stuff you got in it, and if if it's going to fuel your level of, if it's going to fuel your productivity or if it's going to diminish the amount of productivity. So basically, look at your space and do a little cleanup. Now, this is something I'm working on actively, right? This is why I just work outside. This is something I'm working on actively, right? So let's say we're both on this together, all right? So this does not exempt me from trying to get better at organizing my space. So now you're like, okay, I can do that. I can clear up my space. There's a concept of minimalism. Minimalism says this: the less stuff you have in your space, the more space you have to create. The less stuff you have in your space, the more space you have to create stuff. By that I mean, when you're over congested, your mind gets fogged up. You can't think straight. So what you want to do is you want to clear up your environment. Now, I've been doing a little bit better now, throwing away some of the stuff. So like, there's not as much things. Now, I need to get rid of some of my clothes. Why? Because I found out that my clothes is a main reason why things get all over the place. So the less clothes I have to dirty would be the less dirty stuff I have. So I want you to also think about your clothes. The reason why Ed Talks works for me is because I'm giving myself some of the best advice I need, right? So I'm going to go home and work on this stuff because I know it works. But I'm asking you, are you going to work it? So you also got to look at the amount of clothes that you have. And the amount of time that you also, the type of clothes that you wear throughout the day is going to affect your productivity too. Now, somebody want to know, like, yo, I even thought about what type of wardrobe that I'm wearing, your level of comfort. Imagine if you're in a cold office and every day you find yourself freezing, or you're in a hot office, every day you find yourself hot. Don't you think that's going to take time out your day? So you want to dress accordingly to what's going to make you feel very comfortable, one, very free. So not only do you want to minimize the stuff, get rid of some clothes, get rid of some excessive stuff, you want to wear clothes that also is going to be comfortable. So when you're sitting down, you don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so let's do a little review. Add plants to your space, clean out your space, clear out your space, minimize the amount of clothes, and also make sure that you wear comfortable clothes and comfortable shoes so that while you're sitting at your office or workspace, that you're good to go. What is another thing that you can ensure that you do to have a productive environment? The smell of your environment is also going to be very significant. And what I mean by that is if your environment has a certain smell that is not if it's not aligned with peace and clarity, you're most likely going to get the chaos that the smell brings. So what do I mean? You might be in a space where it's a little funky, or it's a little moldy, or it smells like AC. What can you do about that? You want to get yourself what they call an air diffuser. Now, or an air purifier. You could either get both. One to purify the air, clean it up, and one to fog up essential oils to bring that to the air, the diffuser. So the purifier, what it will do is it's going to cleanse your air, especially if you have allergies and you find yourself rubbing your nose from time to time. You definitely want to get an air purifier. That's going to clear out your air so you're not constantly, this is for people who's in closed spaces, smelling toxins, a lot of dirt in your air, so you need an air purifier. Another thing, you get a diffuser. A diffuser, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to create an aura or a sense of smell that is going to help with your productivity. Now, some people want to know, like, what are essential oils and why do they work, why are they effective at, and how can I utilize essential oils to create a productive environment? This is why. Essential oils, there are various forms of essential oils that bring a certain that has a certain benefit to your mental and physical being. Now, for instance, some people have sinuses issues, so that what they will do is they'll have eucalyptus. Some people want to focus some more, they'll have bergamot. So eucalyptus, which helps with your sinuses, might be very useful if you find yourself stuffy nose all day in the office with some air that is very dirty and toxic. So imagine if you purified your air and you had some eucalyptus oil just all up in there. Wouldn't you create like a more zen environment? Of course you would. So somebody want to know, yo, what are some other essential oils that I can get? What are some of your favorite? Where I like peppermint, I like bergamot, I like lavender, I like lemon, I like eucalyptus. And like I said, All this stuff is a Google search away. Just Google essential oils and their benefits, and you'll find a couple of essential oils that you would be very beneficial to you. So like I said, my favorite is lavender, bergamot, peppermint, and eucalyptus. Now, you say, oh, I can definitely switch up my smell. So now what are some other ways you can switch up your smell besides essential oils? So what up? You got incense that you could put around your space. So what are incense going to do? Well, that also will create a certain energy and aura. Now, it turns out that some people use incense not just for the smell of it, but for also the repellent of certain negative energies. So based on your belief or the actual truth of what it works for, using incense or sages will might probably clear up the energy of your space. So that's another smoke you can add to your space so you don't get smoked up on the inside. So you're like, okay, I can do that. Now, which smell should you eradicate from your space? Artificial smells. Now, somebody want to say like, man, is Febreze good? Should I just put some Febreze on it? Well, here's the thing. Febreze is full of chemicals. It's not, you want to get the breeze, not Febreze. And what I mean by that is you want to get real nature's breeze. You don't want to get Febreze because it is a chemical. You're literally stuffing yourself with chemicals, so you want to get something more natural. Okay, so in fact, get rid of your unnatural air fresheners because it's not adding value to you. It's actually diminishing it. So you want to use things more like essential oils, incense, and things like that. So you change your smell. That is going to create an environment that is zen, that is going to help you be more productive. Somebody want to know what else I want to do. You want to change your lighting a little bit. Now here's the thing. A lot of people don't have adequate lighting, or what, not only do they don't have adequate lighting, but the type of lighting that they have is that light. They have that white fluorescent. It does not represent the natural light. So you want to get lighting that is more natural than artificial light. So now let me ask you a question. Do you ever look at a white sun? Is the sun ever white? Nah, it's yellow. Same thing with your light. You want to make sure that the light in your space is also going to represent the sun in such a way, right? This is the easiest way I can put it for you. Instead of the fluorescent light bulbs, think of how do I get the lighting that's going to represent the sun. So you want to create a certain aura with the light in your room. Now, you want to create a certain energy with the light on your room. Also, if it's too bright or too dark, that might be an issue too. Somebody says, man, I open my eyes in the office, it's just like, it's too bright. So sometimes you have to dim down the light a little bit, okay? You have to dim the light down a little bit in your office or your space to create a sense of zen environment. So not only is the light, maybe you need more natural light. Yellow, that's what I said, right? You want to open the doors and the windows for the sun to come through so that you can soak in some of that natural light. So get yourself some more natural lighting. So somebody says, well, all great tips, Ed. Let's keep going. What are some other things I can do to enhance my space and have a more productive space? So not only are you going to work with the Feng Shui by adding more plants, not only are you going to diminish the amount of stuff that you have laying around, not only are you going to make sure you're wearing comfortable clothing, not only are you going to make sure that you change up your scent by adding essential oils, and you clean up your air by getting an air cleanse. Also, you get rid of artificial smells like Febreze and stuff like that, and then you add more light into your light. You have more light into your room. But here's another thing. Understand that if you want to have a productive space, you have to also have that space allocated for specific things, or else your brain is going to be confused. Which means if you've been working in your living room, it's probably now time to create a space that you designate as the office, because obviously up until this point, you've been associating the living room with eating. Which means if you've been eating in the kitchen, if you've been eating in your room, you might be messing up the Feng Shui. Here's what I mean. The place that you work, you make it the place that you eat. You make it the place that you do that. It's changing up that you might be sitting here, you're trying to work, and then you have a habit attachment. Then you're like, let me just eat here, or let me just do this here. Let me just turn on the TV. So you want to associate different locations of your house, your workplace with different things, and you want to stick to doing those things in those places. So another tip of having a productive environment is doing the productivity task in its own productive environment, and having the leisure activities in its own leisure environment. So what I mean by that is, if you're gonna work, you work in the office or in the outdoor space you put for yourself. And when you're gonna eat, you eat in that space that you eat, and you watch TV in that space. So what you do is you're gonna create a distinction between work and play. This is gonna be very useful in the future for you. It's just like if you eat in your bedroom, you find yourself in your bedroom, it's hard to sleep, and you're gonna have a habit of eating late at night because you might be sleeping and like, I can't sleep. You're like, okay, let me go get some food and eat it in the bedroom. So this stuff does not just go in the, it's not just about, let's say, per se, how you are working and accomplishing, but it's how you are improving and becoming better. So whatever habits you want to switch up, you also have to think about, where am I putting those habits and associating those habits with? So somebody also want to know, what are some more tips you can give us to improve our environment so we can be more productive? Another couple of tips that you can do is by categorizing and labeling different things so that you don't have to be in a frenzy looking for stuff all of the time. So what I mean by that is, if you find yourself always having to look for things when you need them, you're going to be almost spending a lot of times looking for stuff. So you need to have an organization process. An organization process allows you to organize your space in a way where you know where things are. So if you have a cabinet drawer, make sure that cabinet drawer is separated with what they have called those little bins. And in those bins, you could put certain key items like your wallet, your keys here, boom, boom, boom. These specific things you need here, boom, boom, boom. What is that going to do? It's going to diminish the amount of energy or the frustration that you get every time you can't find your keys, every time you can't find your wallet, every time you can't find a pen, every time. So if you can take care of your frustration before the frustration happens, you're going to have more energy to be productive because you're not putting forth that energy towards the frustration. Catch my drift? If this is very useful to you, comment, this is fire, right? Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you change your environment, you can create an environment that's conducive to productivity, but you have to change up the environment. Now, what else? What if you found yourself procrastinating in a specific spot in your room, and you're like, or in a specific part in your house? Let's say, not just your house, your entire house is a procrastination place. What can you do if your entire house is a place of procrastination? You gotta leave. Somebody said, man, I can't leave my house. What are you talking about? No, I'm not saying leave your crib forever. I'm saying you have to go work somewhere else that's more productive until you build new pathways in your brain. Here's what I mean. Sometimes you're not productive because you have been used to not being productive where you're at right now. To be more productive, you have to leave where you're at and go to a productive space to change up your mindset, the momentum, the energy. You ever went to Starbucks and you see a bunch of people working and you're like, these people are on their grind. Like, okay. You feel like, let me get on my grind too. What's going on? All right. So what I was just talking about before was, how you can change your space up so that you can be more productive, right? So to be more productive, the first thing I had said was, first you have to think about the plant in your space, the smell, the sound, the light, and whether or not you have a lot of stuff around, and getting rid of them stuff. Changing artificial smell to natural smell, changing artificial light to natural lights, and so far, so on. So that's what I was talking about previously So now we're going to talk about how to continue to do that, to continue to create a space where it's more productive. So I said that you can create a source of energy around your room by putting some visual clues, like a TV with a beach, a TV with a park, something like that. You can also put auditory cues like the sound of a wave or lo-fi music. I find very effective. And I said that listening to certain hip hop while you work, while you think is more effective, is actually not as effective. Something like heartbeat music, like reggaeton, or something like jazz, or something more smooth, something along the line of 432 hertz, or something along the lines of healing sounds. Okay, so now there's some more tips I can give you for your environment for more productivity. What is it? The sound of water brings a zenness to your space. So I have this little fountain, and somebody, they knew me well. They like Ed the Zen Master. Nah, it's one of my friends. I appreciate him. He gave me a little fountain with the water, and I was like, you know me. You know what I like. You know I like that stuff. So now I have it in my room, and it's just sometimes sometimes I turn it on, not all the time. So now it feels like there's a little fountain. So now it's at peace. Now, when I'm outside, here's the thing about being outside. You don't need to do too much. I don't need to change my smell. I don't need to add my light. I don't need to add sound. Look, I got the birds. Y'all hear the birds? Yeah, I feel good. I look good, right? And guess what? I don't even need to worry about being hot, right? Because I got the wind. So what is the best secret to just say, man, you know what? I don't just be outside. Take your chair and desk and work outdoors and big shift. So you want to know what else can I do to be more productive in my environment? Here's another thing. I need you to get rid of some stuff that reminds you of the people that takes up your space in your mind every time you try to do something. I'm gonna tell you, this is a different psychology here. Remember, I go deep in the psych too. Sometimes you got a little gift from your ex, right? And you don't realize it, but subconsciously, every time you look at this gift every day, it brings a little bit of resentment. And this resentment, you carrying it in your work. So I want you to look at your space and also see some of the items that you may have been holding onto that is bringing you certain emotional states that's distracting you in the day. That's a deeper secret, and you might have to throw them away. Now, besides that, y'all want to know, man, I need you to know all your strategies. And how can I make my space some more productivity? Listen, I'm gonna give them to you all. I'm gonna give it to you all. All I need you to do after this is make me a promise. Is that after this podcast, you're gonna go to edtalksdaily.com/reviews, and you're gonna leave your boy a review because this is the podcast. You're gonna say, man, you listen, Ed got the leave the review. What is that gonna do? It's going to help the podcast grow up to the next level. That means that more people are going to be able to listen to it. That means there's some kid around the world that's 9 years old now who's going to be able to tap into this mindset, and 5-10 years later, they're going to be on a whole different, you get what I'm saying? So this is way bigger than, oh, I'm getting my numbers up. This ain't no vanity metrics here, okay? This is impact. I don't show up here because I want you to think, listen, people are going to judge me when I'm here anyways. I'm not doing that for that. I'm doing this because this is my mission. So I need some support. I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna support me right now, comment support in the chat. Because a lot of people say, I like what you do, but you say, man, listen, all I need is a quick little review here. Can you leave me a review while I'm on the come up? To the website, edtalksdaily.com/reviews. Okay? So that's it. Go to edtalksdaily.com/reviews and rate it on Apple Podcasts. If you're gonna do this after, comment support in the chat. All right, now that I had to do a quick plug-in, I'm gonna ask you the next thing. What about like when you're sitting down, what is your number one? I want y'all to comment this in the chat too. Let's say you sit down, you on your computer, and you're about to go do something. You're about to go finish your email. You're about to make a marketing video. You're about to do whatever. What is your number one distraction? Like, this is an actual question. I'm doing a survey here. I'm gonna need your assistant watching with me live. So what's your normal distraction? And what's that gonna be? Dun, dun, dun. Your phone. Your phone is gonna be your major distraction. So from time to time, what are you gonna get? Notifications. You're gonna get all types of stuff. So here's where it is. This is the final part of how to create an environment that's gonna be helping you grow. Here's what you're gonna do. When you're working, now I'm gonna start doing this too. First of all, turn off your notifications for your social networks. That's the first thing. If you turn on all the notifications, then that says that you won't pull me aside. I will pull you when I need you. You hear that? This is how you be a boss, okay? Bosses don't get pulled aside. I'll call you when I need you. We bosses around here, right? We the bosses of our lives. Can I get a hello for that one? All right? So if you a boss of your life, listen, don't get pulled aside. You pull yourself together. You call them aside when you're ready. Here's what I mean. If you're going to be the CEO of your life, manage your own time, you can't just anybody come to your office, knock on your door and say, hey, I need you to stop what you're doing right now. Come through and talk to me. Nah. It's called boundaries. So if you're a boss lady, a boss man, if you just a boss, period, you got to think like a boss, which means you got to set boundaries like a boss. That means you got to what? Turn off the phone sometimes. You got to put it to the side. Somebody's calling you now. Listen, this is not my calling hours, right? You want to talk about whatever? Listen, after 6 p.m. I'm available. But right now I got some stuff to tend to. Listen, your time is valuable. You can't let anybody come and take a piece of your time. Right? So that's the number one distraction, that people keep texting you, expecting. Listen, even a text, like, you have to make a discernment between urgent texts and important texts and urgent texts. And then you realize, okay, this text is very important. In fact, anybody that texts you is an important text because they cared enough to take their time to send you something. But is it urgent? If it's important but it's not urgent, you don't necessarily want to rush and do it right there. But if it's urgent and it's important, then you want to do it. But how about the text that's not even important and it's not urgent? It's not important or urgent. I don't even know what to say about that. And what do I mean by that? That can be like a random marketing text. Why are you looking at that right now? Do you need to be marketed while you're trying to market your business? No, it's not important. It's not urgent. Maybe it might be important. Maybe it might be a good market. I'm just saying, when you have a discernment and you have a structure and procedure, you're going to be more productive. Your environment is not just what's around you, as in like, oh, there's the chair, there's the table, there's stuff. Your environment is also what is going to shift you from reality to virtual reality. So here's what I'm saying. TikTok is an environment. Facebook is an environment. Instagram is an environment. When you're in an environment of real life, you don't want to be in the environment of TikTok and Facebook. Why? And you're trying to be productive. Here's why. They take you into so many different worlds, and you never know where you're going to end up. You never know what video you're going to watch that's going to spark something within you, trigger, and now you all in a loop. You're like, you don't, and some of this stuff happens subconsciously. So I'm telling you right now, if you say, hey, I'm going to control what comes in, and you're gonna have much more productivity. Now, all this stuff, I actually, man, sometimes I'll be like, yo, these are some really good tips, right? So if you want to listen to the podcast, go to edtalksdaily.com/videos. You're gonna get the full access to this. But after I leave here, I have a responsibility. So somebody says, yeah, Ed, you be sharing some good stuff. Do you apply every single one of them? I'm working on applying them every day, and my life is getting better in every way. I'm improving. I'm empowering more people. I'm growing. I'm becoming a more beautiful person. And by that, I mean, I'm becoming more aligned with what I know. So what I say I'm going to do for myself is I'm going to actually listen to this again. I'm going to take those tips into action. I'm not just going to, oftentimes you say what you need. So I want you to start hearing the advice you give to people and take your own advice. That's what I've been doing the last year, 2 years. Somebody want to know, like, yo, well, how have you been kind of like progressing? Here's been the secret for me, basically. I've been letting God use me enough by stepping in my spirit each day, having routines and procedures, sticking to those routines, doing them every day, and then I seem to like download stuff. And then what I do is I take my own downloads and I apply them. So I listen to it, I apply it, and then I'm like, oh, it actually works. And then when I get in my own way, I learned that I let that be what I use to help other people, because I find out that, oh, they're going through the same thing I'm going through. So then my go through becomes a grow through. Now I'm empowering people with what the same challenge that I created became an opportunity for me to learn how to solve it. And that became, it's an ongoing cycle. But how you do it? Unless you have a level of consciousness and awareness to realize when your space is getting dirty, when the smell around your room is getting funky, when your air is getting too toxic, when the Feng Shui is off, when you need to step outside, unless you have a consciousness that you build with continuous ways of thinking and things of like ways of being, then what's going to happen is you're going to get in a hypnotic loop. So it's not that I'm perfect, it's that I reflect enough so that I know when I'm stuck in a loop and get out of it. So it's not that I'm this guy who makes everything perfect decisions. Nah. I honestly wish I was, but I'm not. But what I do is I renew myself so constantly that I can't let up too much. Look, after this, guess what? If I go in my room and it's a mess, do you think I can accept that? I can't accept that. Why? Because I just talked about it. For instance, if I'm gonna be scrolling while I'm working on my phone today, you think I can accept that? I'm gonna be thinking about that. I'm gonna be like, oh, I said that. I said that today, didn't I? What is that gonna do for you? It's gonna change some stuff for you. So literally sometimes I have to come up here and be like, yo, live your dreams. And I'm going through some tough times in my own life. But guess what that did for me? It reminded me I can live my dreams. And what did it also remind me? That the fact that I got to give a speech on Instagram to like 5 people, that I'm living it. Because my dream is to impact people's lives and help transform their mentality so that they can live a holistic life. So my dream is already a reality. So what am I saying with all of this? I'm saying it doesn't pay you to just listen to stuff, to hear stuff. It pays you to make it's when it becomes personal to you that it's a value and standard that you must live by. When you're not just a messenger, but you live out the message. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like so pressed on myself. I'm like, Ed, relationships, because that's some part of my life where I feel like I can improve on, like relationships, like better your relationships. So it's like I have certain things about me, not because I want to be perfect, but it's because I know the perfection that lies within me, as in the being that I truly am. I don't want to live in such a way that is against who I can possibly be. Because when I look at the possibilities for me, I'm like, it's endless. Same thing with you. When you look at what you can do if you really sat down and worked on your gift, like whatever your gift is, some of you have an aura of just like you have a free spirit. That is one of the most amazing gifts. Like just you are the gift itself. Like, man, because your spirit free people. Like some of you have a gift of speaking, putting things into words. Some of you have a gift of using your body, and some of you have a gift of just being inspirational to other people. Some of you can dance really, really well. But unless you have enough intention, focus, and will, and discipline to stick to that, guess what? That gift doesn't come out. So this is why it's so important that you clear up your space, that you clear an environment that's going to be conducive to productivity. So this is why I made this podcast today, because this week is all about action. And if you go back to listen to some of the previous podcasts, I talk about planning, I talk about time management, and today I talk about just clearing up your space so you can have enough mental freedom, free space in your mind so you can create things. So that's my message, and I'm sticking to it, y'all. Thank y'all for watching here and listening to this podcast. If you are listening to this on YouTube, make sure you do what? You already know the deal. Subscribe. And if you're even watching on Instagram, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by going to theholisticmotivator.com. Going to edtalksdaily.com/videos. All right. Now, I want to thank y'all for watching. Make sure you leave that review. Remember, you have the unlimited power in you to achieve whatever it is that you want, to create the person that you want to be. But until you believe it, the world forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So remember, let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. It's the Holistic Motivator, and I want to thank y'all for watching. If you want to listen to this replay, I no longer post them on my Instagram. I've been posting 1 or 2 there, but go to edtalksdaily.com/videos, and also it will be posted as a audio format within a few days. And also when you go to edtalksdaily.com, subscribe to the mailing list so you can keep getting the notifications when I got new stuff going on. Once again, thank y'all for watching. Tell a friend. Every day 9:30 a.m. Your boy is consistent to the max. We don't stop. All I do is stay consistent no matter what. So you come back here around 9:30, you know I'm going to be here. All right? I'm going to be here at 9:30. And come back here. I'll see you then, all right? Let your light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. Hold up. You know it's a podcast, right? So I got to put the... Hold up. I got to put the outro music. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, the power to empower your space by clearing it up is up to you. But you gotta remember that you have the unlimited power to create your life, create your space, create the mentality that will go through any adversity. It starts with your level of belief and level of what you're gonna accept for yourself. When you say, listen, I'm not accepting that. I want to be productive. I am a productive person. I'm going to create a productive space for that person to roam in. Guess what's going to happen? That productivity going to shine through you, baby. That's right. So remember, let that light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. It's the holistic motivator here, you dig? Peace. I'm out. All right, y'all. I had a lot of fun, but I got to go now.